First come, first served.
Let it be known he's late.
Yeah. Okay. Welcome, everybody, to the Williamson County Board of Commissioners meeting. It's what day is it? It's Wednesday, October 11th. It's 1:01 p.m. Roll call, please.
Tim Atkinson.
Present.
Jim Marlowe.
Present.
Jim Reeves.
Present.
Purpose of today's meeting, this is a reconvening from yesterday's meeting. I need to say that. Purpose of today's meeting is budgeting. And the Public Defender's Office is represented. How are you today?
Here we are. Doing well. Yourself?
Doing great. Having a great day. It's a good day today.
So, okay.
How was y'all? Say, oh, we're gonna make it with them. We choose to have a good day, right?
Yes.
How is the Wi-Fi? How is the internet?
So, we now have a Wi-Fi spot upstairs. Fantastic.
Good.
That is working for us well. We have all of the equipment is up and running, and that is turning out well. There's some learning curves, but we're doing all right. And the issue they're working on for us right now is something completely beyond our control. We have tablets with remote desktop, which is fabulous, right? I was doing part of my trial from my kitchen table of an evening after court.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
The only issue is we can't hook up our remote desktops from any of the phone rooms. It won't connect.
A wireless issue.
It has a big X that says contact your administrator. So I kidnapped Bryce yesterday and took him to court with tablets that you sit here and see if you can figure it out. I gotta go do a free trial. So they are working on it, you know. But
Yeah.
other than that, and that's kind of the big one. They're not really quite sure what is preventing us from being, because we've tried courthouse Wi-Fi, public defender Wi-Fi, which is really far away. State's attorney's Wi-Fi, it's just not connecting anymore. So that's our last glitch.
But they're working on it.
It's
Yes.
that building.
Hmm?
It's just that building.
Yes, it is. Well, the ghost hangs out in my office all the time, you can tell, because desk drawers open, doors closed, you know.
But the issue brought up in my last conversation with James, we were talking about issues over there. They're aware of this issue. I'm still trying to determine, like you said, you could go in and just throw in 35 hotspots
Yeah.
and solve it, but that's not the solution. But they're just putting a little diligence in it to try and make sure that we're done. It's done correctly.
Yeah.
But they're aware. So I'm confident we'll find a solution.
And it is something unique with the courtrooms, like I said, throughout the building, we can connect. You know what I mean? It's when we go into the courtroom. Yeah. That's a good thing. I dropped off a minor amendment yesterday. Did you guys see that?
Yes.
I highlighted it,
Yes.
okay. My
The law license.
my Lexus contract did go up, and I did that verification of that at the beginning of this week. Not dramatically, because of course we were on an older system that was able to be going for 6 years. But, they're going to, of course, discontinue that service, and the new and improved one we don't want, which would still be the minimum, has gone up. So I just wanted to let you know that that number did change. It's not dramatic, but
I saw you had a couple of new hires listed. Are you having issues finding applicants?
oh, we are fortunate right now in that for the last bit, we can say we've been fully staffed only because we had a 7-Eleven who passed the bar, will be sworn in. So we had a rather seamless transition from when Rebecca left. Before then, we were 8 months short-staffed. We were down to returning for 8 months. That was miserable. we are having an incredibly difficult time. Getting applicants to begin with.
Don't know if it's been communicated to you, but we're putting more of an effort into attending job fairs and scattered about. So if there's any resource material or anything you could add to our resource material that might help get applicants your direction.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Other offices have had some luck in at least getting more applicants. I don't know that it's getting hires, but something to think about.
They have to have a license. You know, it's not, I'm more than willing to train someone for the job, but if they don't walk in with a law license, there's not much I can do. On the administrative assistant side, you know what I mean? That hasn't been as much of a problem, other than, luckily, our starting is incredibly low. And enticing folks with the desire to put in the effort that it takes and the time that it takes to learn it, that also kind of limits our.
And we bumped that up, what was it, last year?
Last year,
To
yes.
50? Or the 50?
Well, that.
No, I'm talking about the administrative,
Oh, okay. The administrative.
secretaries.
You're still at 1405, is that?
No, I hope y'all said it was 1465, because I'm
Okay.
asking for a new
That
hire
was just
at
off the
even
top of my-
15.
15.
Yeah, just
So if you had to put a number on it, you know, what would that number be?
to, as a
For your legal
start
assistance.
for legal assistance, you know, we're competing right now, right, for everything. I know mine is not the only department that has issues like this, and we do have an imminent retire coming up from someone who's been here for 40 years.
Yeah.
But when they were looking for bus drivers, and they were offering $22 an hour. Target is $20 an hour. These are for entry-level positions, right? So, and I know it's a story across the board, and that's one of the reasons, and I know we'll get to it as well. I have our ask on everything else. No increases except those that are by contract, and everything else has got to go to people. Getting them and keeping them is turning out to be an issue.
We were really working hard on it, right? Trying to figure out where we need to be.
My lawyers are being actively approached.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, they're being approached by the private sector. Ted did it, you know what I mean? And I had to threaten to throat punch him if he tried to do that again, you know? But the folks who are here are, currently, they haven't been enticed away.
Yeah.
And so that we've been very lucky that way.
Even if the poach from other counties.
Trying,
Yeah.
unfortunately, here's my take on it, right? For so many years, there had been so little turnover. We had a very professional core, you know what I mean? So after years of service, salaries, you know, went up. It's now that we're trying to replace the old ones with the new ones. That's where we're running into the fact that our starting is.
How does it
ones that
compare to
is,
other counties?
Tens of thousands.
Lower.
And
What about
Is
Jackson?
that
What's
for-
the starting in Jackson?
I am not 100%. They went through some significant changes here not too long ago and been in a state of flux for probably about 4 to 5 years. But I lost an attorney over there. Courtney was here. I think she was at 46, maybe 50. She was here about a year and a half. And she was offered close to 90 to go in as a felony in Jackson County. She couldn't turn it down as much as she would have liked to stay.
Well, unfortunately, there's no way we can get
Oh,
that.
no, I know that. We need to find a place where they can appreciate that it will build, but we need a starting.
Where are we at with the ARPA money that we gave you? You know?
So I've used that for law clerks and 7-Elevens, and I'm going to continue to do that. it's the stipulations, you know what I mean? I can't use it for regular wages. I can't use it necessarily for equipment. Not that we need any now. Last year was really great, I'm not complaining on that. And still trying to figure out the best bang for the buck, and that's what we're going to keep using.
Why can't you use
You,
it? Because if we.
well, right now, see, the use of that was to free up
Backlog.
Right. So if you need to use it as a, could you let us know before you spend
Oh,
that
yes.
so we can get a determination as to it's actual. If you need equipment, let us know.
And we're hoping to get, oh, and I do have a question.
Even
on that.
without, even beyond ARPA, if you need something, let us
Purpose
know.
was to help with the backlog, so whatever it takes to help with the backlog, my opinion.
I just don't know
I mean, I
that.
don't wanna go against whatever it's set. in
Well,
stone.
we just gotta get a determination on that.
So,
Mhm.
You know, we just don't wanna,
Hey, I'm gonna give a shout out to my kids, you know what I mean? We took care of that backlog, right? Just by sheer force.
brute force.
Yeah, and, we are in pretty good position. Once trials started, not that we've had a tremendous number of them, we usually don't, but now that they could say, now or never, both sides, right? That's when both sides get read. And we reduced that. My personal case count went from over 800 to stuck a little over 400, 450. So, still unmanageable, but not any like,
Yeah.
working hard.
On your PDs, you got $6,000 increases across the board, except for the new hire.
Except for the very new one, yeah.
Do you have anybody penciled in for the new hire?
Yes, actually, he will no longer be a new hire once he gets
That's-
sworn in
that's
on
the
November
same
9th.
one?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
gotcha. I wasn't sure about that, if that person was already included in this.
And that is that person, so it's not like it would be someone in addition, if that makes sense.
And that fills up all your spots over there.
Yes,
So before
do that.
yeah.
And then the new hires come in, what position?
Right now, Art Anthony has been working as a part-time senior law clerk because he was able to keep the 7-Eleven. So I moved him out of ARPA and moved him into basically what Rebecca's slot was. And then when he gets sworn in on November 9th, we'll move it directly into that slot. So he'll no longer be hired. Does that make sense?
Okay, so he'll become one of your PDs then?
Yes.
You said,
At
you-
50.
Terry, you said you had somebody who was going to retire. What did you say?
Yeah, it's Luann.
Okay, she's not, I'm
I did
assuming-
not include because she will be retiring sometime this year.
Okay, so where's, you didn't include her salary, you didn't think about hiring some,
It is, actually.
okay?
So if you, I of course won't want the math to be, double checked at some point. What I did, trying to get creative, I'll be blunt, I did not give any of that back. I tried to use it, I'm going to promote someone from the inside, and that means with the amount of duties that comes with that position, that needs to happen.
This is in Luann's position, is it different than a legal secretary?
So, more by custom than by description, okay? So she's my assistant, and as the chief, I have her doing all of the building. She does the payroll, she does the ordering of supplies. All of those things are in addition to managing the cases.
Yeah.
And, I've looked at, to split that up a little bit, but it doesn't make sense, right? If I have somebody keeping the books, essentially, that's what it is. And I ask someone else to be in charge of all of the ordering, all I've really done is doubled the work instead of dividing it in half. If that makes sense. So right now, I'm thinking we're gonna keep those descriptions the same. I do have two people on payroll. Basically, one keeps track of paid time off, sick days, all of that. And then they sit together when they submit every other week, so that we have sort of that check and balance going on. But other than that, yeah, there's a lot of administrative work that goes along with it.
Is that Mary?
That would be Mary Kay. And that's why that's such a significant bump there.
Okay.
And she's agreed to come on and do that. So, well, let me say, and that's why that significant bump is there. So for the lawyers, I'm just trying to keep them happy. They are really busting it out. So I took Luann's salary, I compared it to, and then also last year, it was a 70-cent, and I said, okay, we're gonna use that for this year as well. And I came up with numbers so that if we had no change and 70 cents across the board, the numbers I proposed are actually a couple of $1,000s less under this proposal than it would have been if I had everybody exactly the same at 70 cents an hour. So yes, I'm not giving any back because of a new hire, so there'd be no attrition
Right.
that I'm proposing, but it will actually be less. Not by much, but I have it inside that number.
So, we have any of the people who are seeing a large increase. Are any of those people retiring anytime soon? Some of these are more than 6%.
On which, are we talking about the attorneys or are we talking about the? Pardon?
About all of them. We are coming up on retirement because we run into a current rate.
Oh, probably. I've never really asked her. What I mean, how much
Yeah.
longer she plans on staying.
So there's.
I don't anticipate her leaving anytime, not before me, and I'm calling dibs, and it would be unfortunate.
That Mary Kay is coming into the its position.
Right.
Okay, so that position may need to be retitled so that it's because she has more job duties than she had before.
And it probably should be. I mean, so much of what we do is based on tradition. I mean, for decades, it felt like it was Larry Broken, Alex Fine, me, and our assistants, and it stayed that way so job titles changed all the time, but we never actually did. So I think that probably would be useful.
Needs to do.
Oh, wait, am I volunteering to do this? I'll put it on. I'll put it right there at the top again.
Questions on it that you guys have? Any other questions than that?
Okay, so your legal secretary is, I just want to make sure I get this correct.
Mm-hmm,
Mary Linneman,
mm-hmm,
Marjorie Carter,
mm-hmm,
Julie Cantrell,
mm-hmm.
Monica B.
Yes,
right now. Okay. Luann is not the legal secretary, she's your assistant, correct?
right. And she is not in the proposed budget because she's retiring.
Okay, but you don't know when.
It's a shame. It will be by the end of the fiscal year.
So she'll
Oh,
be.
by the end of this
Yes.
business? Okay, that's
Yeah,
what
see,
I
that's why-
thought you meant.
That's what I thought you, that's what I thought
Oh,
you.
no, that's
Right.
where my confusion came in.
Right.
Okay,
And that caused me a significant amount of confusion as well. I
Okay.
was trying to write.
so what is she at right now?
Didn't write that one down. And during last year's. Here we go. Currently, she is at $25.77 an hour.
Are you 18, 20? You have 35 hours a week.
Yes. That's how we
That's
recommend.
46,901.
And we have that extra hire. And for that is $105.70 every 2 weeks.
Okay, so she's leaving and then this was up, so that's, okay, this, and her salary is figured in this.
Yeah.
So you're using all that, or that for the replacement, all of that?
Yeah, so here is where.
So I guess my question is, 158, 249 are your legal secretaries. Higher, that is included in that 158, 49,
Correct.
that 46,000. Right? Is that what you're saying? Just want to make sure I'm understanding.
158, 249 equals everyone that's listed as legal secretary plus the new hire.
Correct.
Excludes the legal secretary.
So it doesn't count,
And you've got
The
new
46
hire
times
wage.
one. that number doesn't reflect 46,900.
Oh, yeah, posted yet?
Uh,
All
we
right,
do have
so,
some like this,
Okay.
but until I have an actual date. We're still working on it.
Sure. The new hire for ED, that's for sure.
That's for sure, that's it then.
okay, so
So
that,
typically what we're doing is putting new hires that haven't been hired yet into our account, not in budget, we have that person do it.
Okay,
That's typically what we're doing. We won't move the PD, and the new PD that you already have, the seven that was last, that would stay. So that would, he hits the government decision and stuff.
so the new number on the salary should actually be 651, 340, 340. If I'm not mistaken. That's the 604, 442, which you show here, plus Luann's salary.
I think she's
No.
sprinkled Luann's salary all throughout this.
Yes.
Okay, well, that's what I was trying to get
Yes,
at.
yes.
Six oh four actually
let me
covers.
share this with you, this might help, whenever we either talk about simple or, okay? So what I did, now this takes that into account, okay? So I broke it down between everyone who will be here and your new hire.
Okay,
And if we had no changes, and we just took last year's and we did the 70 cents per hour, it would come up to 160.14.
okay.
As I'm proposing, it will come up to 158.249. That makes sense?
Yeah, I see what you're doing. Okay, all right.
Yeah, so I,
So a base
Get that
for the
done.
new hires and then distribute the rest,
Yeah.
to everybody else.
exactly. With a little bit, I mean. This year would be 1 year because of that I would be asking for, the bump for this year. And it will be, told to everyone that that's the only reason it's happening. Next year, of course, it would be fine. Well, no. How to put this, I'm not gonna guarantee anything for next year.
I was gonna
What I'll be
say,
asking for, but,
So the new hire is 27,300, correct? And the
yes,
new hire will be the new administrative assistant.
yes.
and then you have the change for Westlaw licenses.
Yeah, that's the only one that went. There was a little bit, there was one more. on maintenance, but that's just because we have the new equipment. We actually have legal licenses from Microsoft for everybody, for, you know. it's
Which
like-
we've never paid for before, but now we have to.
Apparently, but at the same time, you know, how to put this, at least, we won't get a ticket for piracy, so,
Or
you know, I
IT.
guess there is that.
It's-
What you're known for.
What's
It
that?
is what I'm known for, but it's not for getting caught, but thank you. Yeah, other than that, I think we're spot on.
Jim, did you have any other questions about Terry? So Jim, did you have?
This is the price on your new assistant?
So basically, she's around 20,875 between the rest of.
Yeah.
With more of a bump for the
I
one
didn't-
taking over the administrative.
I didn't do that.
duties.
There's two big questions. Uh,
Yeah, because that would be, you know, salary.
Yeah. So basically your budget's flat. Looks like it's-
Yeah, it would be.
Right,
Her
right.
salary with the 70 cent increase.
Unless he's asking for a whole lot more than I wanna cut.
Everything she doesn't use, I want.
Yeah. It was.
We're not just terse in the courtroom, it's every so.
I was expecting a boring meeting this afternoon, but it sounds like we're about to be on fire.
Security here.
No, let's see how this plays out.
You just gotta stay away from her elbows and pins.
I'm not allowed to have sharp things around me and I'll shake you.
Chase each other with snakers.
Don't give them my teeth.
Absolutely.
Oh,
I don't think we've got, do we have any other questions? So, Terry, you got any questions for us?
no, I don't think so. Oh, yes, I do. And I was talking with Ashley about it, and I don't know, I know it's tax season, so things have gone crazy. So, a while back, Judge Green did set aside, a portion that was to go for the public defender, and I wanted to order desks using it. So I went to ask him, he's like, I tracked that down. My understanding is he has talked to Judge Green. I think this one's, they never got it.
Oh, really?
That's on me. That's on us. That's on. So I have two of them measured and ready to go. Allegedly, I have $5,000 parked, from a bond forfeiture that he objected to, you know, strenuously. And, I was asking how to do that. I've never done that. You know what I mean? So
Sure.
once you guys give me the go ahead, let me know it's there, I'm gonna place the order and then bring the bill over and say this is what it is and this is what it's from.
Didn't give you money last year for it, yes.
Yes, you did. Didn't know from the year
Year
before.
before, that was 2 years ago.
Yeah, yeah.
Last year we bought you, yeah, we paid for some new office equipment or something this year.
Oh, yeah, new
New
computers,
computers.
tablets,
Yeah.
yeah. So all of that got done, the testing.
Just send the claim. I mean, if you send the claim, then it has to be brought to their attention.
Right?
You don't need the treasurer's permission for that. That's
No,
his job.
I wasn't asking for permission. I was asking for how to do it.
So the.
Because I've never tried to spend outside of the actual budget. This is an amount that was set aside, so I'm not known for
That was
asking
money that
permission.
Steve had approved, because I had not heard of it yet.
I haven't either.
And it was done by a docket entry, and I think it, you know, they were supposed to get that one worked out, so I know it's there.
So talk to Steve.
Oh, yeah, and I have. And just procedure wise, if something shows up, that's what it's going to be from.
And if you need one of us to call, actually,
No, I'll memo it. I just wanted you guys to know.
absolutely. So if you need help with that.
The treasurer talked to me about, I want to say it was a couple of weeks ago,
At least, yeah.
it might have been 3. It may have been before Bill started coming in, and he's gotten busy. He did mention it.
And that's more asking, more clarifying procedure. I'm much more of a ask forgiveness. I try not to do that either. So. All right,
All
we're
right,
good.
well, thank you for coming on, appreciate your time.
We should do this more often.
I'm glad we're gonna do budget one time a year.
Well, you know what, me too.
This one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh.
You go see Angela, she can be that claim.
I was just making sure that you know what's coming, really. I'm gonna sit smile you for.
Oh, that's fine. I'm happy. I'm gonna fight the mood.
Good afternoon, Ted.
We just got done, with our conference meeting over there at the airport with our state's attorneys and state representatives, and sheriffs. A lot of angry people.
What are they angry about?
So what it's doing in our communities, it's ruining our counties and our towns in southern Illinois. It's not good. The state didn't bother to fund any.
Well, that's where they fly.
Well, I mean, this county's gonna lose
Years.
probably well over $1 million. Jackson County's basically they lose $600,000 because there's no cash bond. Bare minimum, we probably know that. So we okay with that. And the rising costs of state's attorneys and public defenders, county we have to deal with, the safety act, it's not been provided any funds by the state to you for this county's use.
None. All
And
board
it's not
like
gonna get any
taxpayers.
better. It's really inaccurate. Strip us of our money and then also make our costs rise and find a way to account for it. Isn't that right, Terry?
I agree.
Terry needs at least, what, 2 or 3 more PDs.
Easily.
I hope that was in your budget.
Well,
She'll let me do your budget.
I know what that's.
I had no idea. That's the beauty of me. What would you like to do?
Might as well start on salaries.
You want to start at salaries? Can you do that on live transfer?
If we don't ensure any, so I guess we're probably okay.
It's all about.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, this
Well, the
document,
problem is 11 of my people are under middle of a contract negotiation.
Yeah.
So I don't know that you want that.
The contract negotiation won't be public, but what you have here is public knowledge.
It's fine.
we're in the process of figuring it. And all of
This
this.
is very soon.
We've seen it off of the unions, and
You know, the FOPs want to start with too. They've contacted me.
We're aware of all that.
so
Well,
the.
Fred Barton will be participating in the behalf of the FOP negotiation.
Yeah.
Sheriff. Smile. Just-
Have you heard from Bob Jones?
I have. I was talking to the sheriff. Not today.
No, no, we don't need to.
You got
talk
enough
about
going on
that.
today.
That's information we didn't have before.
But I've only known it for about 2 days, so.
Yeah. Okay. On these proposed positions, is that you got people lined up for those, and
No. I have 2 open positions that are part of the proposed legal secretary. So really, there's only 1 new legal secretary position. Assuming that I acquire a new attorney, that would fulfill all of my open positions other than a new attorney, which would require another legal secretary. I'm not putting that on here. I have posted one of those legal secretary positions at their current rate, which is $14.05 in apply. So I thought the better of wasting my time posting until after contract negotiation is done for the increase.
that is not.
They would actually get more money if they were hired on now and they see the bump and they see the salary increase. But they don't understand that. We put it there for applications. So I'm missing 2 secretaries. I have 1 lead. 1 new position I created a new secretary. I haven't filled out. So that's what I'm currently.
Okay.
The salaries of all of the union members in this group are guesstimations.
Okay.
They are not, I mean, I don't know how you account for that when you do the budget. Obviously, some of these depends on where you end up with your individual people. The exception of my operations manager is not union this year.
Okay, so I actually have, that was one of my
And
questions.
I'll give you the other one real quick before you ask. My victim advocate manager is not union.
Right.
But all the rest are actually union employees. Pay will be negotiated in that process. And so before you get started, I'll give you one more little change in here. You can ask two more. Let's see. 4 down. The assistant state's attorney on that line received a greater increase than what's provided for in the contract.
Yeah.
That is intentional on my part because if we don't increase her, I could lose her. Desperately cannot afford to lose her. She's one of my rising stars, up and comers. It's not a significant increase. If you look at it, she would have been, it's about $5,000 more than what she would have gotten in the union contract. Next one down, his position is, he's applied for a new position, which I created and posted. It's senior sex offender prosecutor. So it's been advertised on the county website. I put it out for bid for anyone to apply. He's the only one. I couldn't get anyone else to apply for that.
New position.
Unbelievable. Could not believe anyone else. Now that amount of money is reflective of experience. The requirements when you have at least 5 years experience. When you have experience prosecuting sex offender cases, that means aggravated sexual assaults.
Predatory criminal sexual.
The ones that she does, that she defends for Terry Becker. The reason being that these are, as Terry can attest, these are evidence and test intensive. There's a lot of things you have to know and understand about how to prosecute these cases, how to do the introductory hearings with juveniles and getting their testimony and those things. As you may, did you defend the Blue case?
No,
The one that got put back on appeal, you saw that?
right. No, I
So-
didn't see that.
There's a defendant here that was prosecuted 5 years ago. Was convicted of aggravated criminal sexual assault, went to the appellate court, and recently has been returned, vacated his convictions, set loose. Basically because one of the judicial rulings in that case and failure to prosecute in a particular case to handle a couple of evidentiary issues correctly. Those are the things you have to guard against when you have these cases that are incredibly sensitive. Your sex offender prosecutors look in the CAC, Child Advocacy Center. And these are always very high profile cases, especially for families involved in these cases. So it's incredibly critical, especially in the county this size, to have somebody A, has experience, and B, is somebody who can handle these types of cases. So that's the reason I created the position. Mr. Bateson. This individual has also been practicing law for 35 years, and in their upcoming contract negotiations, I've already talked with the union and told them that I want riser put into that negotiation. If I hire somebody who's got 10 years experience, they should get incremental increases. You guys understand how that contract works. It says I have to give them a minimum of a certain amount of money. If we hire them in, and if I want to raise them up out of that, the union has the ability to buy me. I want to build in these things. If I hire somebody who's been doing it for 15 years into my office because of all that experience, they also get it good. They don't have to start at the bottom. You know, it's ridiculous to me that you've been doing something for 15 years, you come to the state attorney's office, and you have to literally start at the same salary as somebody who just graduated law school. It's not the way the world works. In the corporate world, we hire somebody. It shouldn't work that way if we hope to get good candidates to be state attorneys here. That's down the road. You guys are going to do that contract next year. But it's looking at that where this comes from, because this particular individual has been doing it for 30 years. All the time.
So creating a position, we get the candidate.
Correct. The Everyone else is in the state's attorney range, the assistant state's attorneys are just a standard, is indicated by contract. Now, you had questions regarding this group, this Carter, well, not Carter. no. I'm sorry, Vicki didn't get me.
Yeah.
Struggling with it, sorry.
Just rolls off the tongue.
That was one we established last year, that's not going on at all. So that one probably isn't a great surprise. My operation manager, I am increasing the PERS, what I believe would be commensurate with what's going to happen with the increase. That's why that number is in. And she's incredibly important to my office. If you guys know what Christy does, she's literally the hub to my office. Because every report, every issue goes, each report, she has to make sure everything's in. Any issues with discovery, any issues with any of the assistants, any issues with attorneys, she also keeps the time for the attorneys, keeps all the communication back and forth with law enforcement attorneys. Why would it next? Very stupid. If there's an issue that needs to be addressed, she's the one.
And she's outside.
She's outside. So that increase should be consistent, reasonably, expectation of results. Hers usually falls, from what I understand, you guys know better than I.
You wouldn't fall in.
It falls in sort of, that's what I understand.
The contract ARP,
That was close.
we had, that position's closed.
You're talking about, that particular individual is no longer a contract attorney in Harvard. She's now salary.
She's been salary, yes.
We converted her by resolution. It's back in August. And the $3,000 decrease really reflects.
So the ARP is actually, it's
I don't have anyone else using it.
okay, because we had,
But I mean, there's zero balance.
I don't know that that's true. I don't think she used it.
We can check with.
Yeah, there might be some in there.
but you're
But I'm done.
you're completely held on. That was a big question I had. Being listed.
Yeah, I'm done.
But that attorney is still.
Yes, she's doing very well. We're very fortunate to get her from Saline County. There's going to be some opportunities to pick up some more attorneys here soon. Anticipate out of Saline County.
Did you get pushed back from the unions talking about scaling according to experience?
No, I didn't. They, I don't know if it's for the return, but the union for that state strange group was in favor of it, as was him. So, and they, because really they understand. The stronger my office is top to bottom, the easier it is for all of you. I have, if you look at Jackson County structure, it's Joe, and 9 people who have less than 3 years experience. Imagine, if you will, all the things that they don't know. I'm fortunate. Jerry Adams, 30-some years.
Yeah.
I'm in the middle of starting grand juries. I'm in the middle of dealing with you guys on the budget. I'm in the middle of doing all these administrative things. This is probably
You don't have time to do
you
that.
have this stupid David.
I'm trying to go to court.
I had a workshop going too. So Jerry tried that work without me. While we talked a lot about strategy, but she did the actual work in the courtroom, which freed me up to do a ton of things that I needed to do administratively. And Joe doesn't have that luxury. He's got to try it. So the more assistants that you have that can pick up the football and run with it, you've got to be looking the other way. The better your office runs, the better it is for the people in this county, the better it is for justice to prevent.
Only partially related, but while you're both in the room, every time we add an attorney, we add a secretary, so 1 turns into 2. Is there space in that building with that kind of growth?
Yes. There is room downstairs For my office, I can't speak for Terry.
But you already have 2 floors.
Oh, I know, I got another one too.
So, and the
I negotiated
therapy
with the
dog
chief
has an
judge.
office larger than mine currently, so there is room to expand. It would be awkward just because of how the structure is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dibs on some of that.
I'm not sure that argument needs to come to this building.
Our,
Let's talk
what's
to
got
the
happening
big chair over there.
is, there's a, if you walk in the basement, when you walk in immediately to the right of the machine, there's an office, that actually belongs to me. So I kicked around the idea of turning, I was part of that. We had, so I have room, places to keep. Typically what happens with the courthouse cases, we negotiate with the chief judge and we'll sign. The decision, actually, if there's a tie, it goes to the sheriff. It's down to these.
Ted, on your second salary sheet. You've got a couple of ASAs and 2 legals, and a couple of law clerks. Do you have people to fill those positions?
Nice. I would say, I anticipate that I can get law clerks. I don't even know that I can pay them that much, to be honest. I can get it cheaper. Law clerks, and correct me if I'm wrong, Terry, they now have to do some more work. It's part of the law degree, which I wouldn't. I don't think that was the case when I went there. Maybe it was. You prefer to pay them something so that A, you can get the better ones, B, you can actually get them to apply because no one walked into finance based on
Like an internship.
they weren't interested. Sure. So I put some money in there so that we could move if you were to put that in contingency.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Those new hires that you have, those positions filled yet, typically we put in that into.
Which I- Always it's reflected
It's no problem.
that money is there. And you know how I've done it in the past. If I'm gonna fill one of these positions, I'm going to actually tell you.
Yeah.
And say, hey, money's in contingency, you just wanna let you know this is what we do. Because I think that's my responsibility. It's my decision, but as I told you before, fish operations county is best completed by communication between all parties. But I'm not trying to push anything by it. It's just,
No,
I'm pretty matter of fact about my numbers, is what it amounts to. And the grant positions you see on here are set grants. There is nothing really changing here.
So Ted, I was told to ask you about office expense.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. That's quite an increase.
That's a significant increase.
All right, so here's what goes on with office expense. For whatever reason, last year, whenever there was something that we couldn't figure out where it needed to go, or treasurer couldn't, or whatever reason, they couldn't even, for example, special prosecutors. I was charged back for special prosecutors, and they put it in my office expense line, which of course blew my budget straight out.
Right
It
then.
blew right out of the water. Right now, we have $0. We have no paper, and we have no cartridges. And we're planning a raid on the public defender's office as we speak.
I heard you already
You
rated.
quit sending us stuff on paper, Don.
Did you rated the circuit clerk's office?
We have, that's already been done, we worked them out. No, we just ordered a paper and print cartridges. This is what it is, we have to have them. Perhaps when we, as I've told you before, Circuit Clerk and I are working on a grant proposal that allow my office to get payments. We have, that grant is not awarded in county. Wait and get the word. I've already pushed through the laptops that Jim's and get this last year. So we're moving in that direction. Use much paper. You can go paperless, wireless. I think that takes us down another rabbit hole and discuss here regarding my requirements for the ability to run it. Because it's still not for us. We can't get anything off our current service situation. And I found out again, very interesting that they need all the state's attorneys. Every single state's attorney that has their own server. So
You have yours, don't you?
I have a virtual server that's tied onto your network. I'm talking about a standalone server.
I thought you got a server.
Because it would cost at least $50,000-$60,000. So I'm waiting for the grant. That's what they put us on the virtual server as part of doing that. And I told them to go ahead and do it because we don't have money to buy the actual server at this point. So let's see how it works. But the end game is it doesn't. I walk into different secretaries' offices. They're down. They can't access TC Jones. They can't access any of the things that we paid all this money for because they're. I made a comment last time in front of the board as to what I think was the problem. I called and asked them for fire which is probably true. But so I guess I don't know why these things happen. But all I can tell you is in the actual process of doing the work, my assistant's computers go down. Donna Williams keeping traffic, 1,000 cases a day because of the nature of her office. Every time I go in, she's sitting there, and she looks up and says, "What are you doing?" I'm waiting. My computer has rebooted. It's down. I can't get into this. Computer locked up. I don't know how to. We don't have any memory capacity to download the videos that I have to give to her.
Yeah, you got share videos, you got all that.
Oh, yeah.
So do you have any idea how much money we're spending for IT? Jim, do you have any idea what's going on there?
This is what we approved last week.
All right.
The new hardware has been ordered. They believe their test was successful. They ran it very limited.
That's not installed yet.
It's not.
Well,
And this
and I'm willing to
was,
wait for that. You know,
and this was because the state's attorney wanted to wait on the grant money. This $50,000-$60,000 for a server's jump for any of this.
I can assure you it'd be much harder. Just kidding.
But my remembrance of that meeting, you did agree to try the virtual until that point. We just had to figure out why this one piece of software continued to fail and take machines down. And what we ordered last week is their latest attempt at solving this. So
Well, and
we
they
have
are
the end of
working,
this test and we're still having the same problems, then we're gonna need a bigger action.
they are working on something in the software. PC Genesis, they have guy duplicative passwords and things like that, duplicative users. So sometimes when somebody leaves, you get a new ASA that comes in, they don't take the old user off, so it just slows the locks the system down. I'm game for anything to make this system work. If it's the virtual server, great. The problem is I haven't seen it. Are you still working off of my network in the corporate?
Well, yes. However, and we talked about that as well. We're still having some bug issues that our remote desktops will not log in. I've got your Wi-Fi password, I've got our Wi-Fi password. It just won't.
But her machines are not logged in inside the courtrooms.
And,
Everywhere else, we're good.
you know, if we can't figure that out somehow, it's somebody who can figure it out. It's debilitating to go pay this. The whole point is why I'm buying Microsoft Surfaces so that they can sit there, flip through, pull open the case, flip through all the documents, do their entries, whatever they've got to do. It's like having entire office at your fingertip, if that works correctly. What they do in federal courts, 100 counties, Jackson counties, they had this in this game. And we're probably the largest county, at least by volume, south of I-64, if not south of I-70. Not to be trailing. Since I was saying, I'll say Pulaski County has a dedicated server. I mean, this is one of the tiniest counties that they have their own server. State streets. I would continue to work towards it. It's frustrating at times. Now, to get back to answering your question on officers. So, special prosecutors. Some of them are obviously because I came over from private practice, so I cannot prosecute people that are students. Some of them are simply other issues. Maybe the judge knew Maybe, when somebody else in my office said it, it's sometimes offensive, whatever. But those are all being billed to me, which I'm not sure if ethically that can happen. Because the notion, as far as lawyers are concerned, is if I'm paying the special prosecutor, that makes me the client, I'm already conflicted. I don't know why. I always assume special prosecutors, as is special public defenders, are paid for out of the judiciary. But if you're gonna continue to pay them out of my line in my office expense, you're going to have to increase my account by to at least $10,000, because that's how much they're gonna be this year.
Why don't we separate that as a new line?
Oh, that's fine. I'm fine with that. That is out of office.
I mean, if we can take it out of yours, we can put it into ours and then pay that in our office. We just don't know. That's something we.
Whatever you choose to do, I'm game for it. That's not an issue. It's just, like I said, if it's gonna be out of that line. that's-
It shouldn't be an office expense.
No, it
That's
shouldn't.
what all of us said. You should agree on that.
I agree, it shouldn't be an office expense. That's what it's supposed to be. There were other items, I apologize, none of the others come to mind. When Andrew was showing me and saying, well, they took this out of office expense, I'll look at it immediately, he goes, that's not office expense, why does that come out of it? So the number, while in part was symbolic, I was trying to make a point. There is more than $13,000 in expenses in the office expense account, because of the way that other things just added in on that line. It's the question becomes how clean do you want to keep that line? If you want to put $20,000 in there, I'm not spending more than I have to spend. If I get to the end of the year and I've got $5,000 in it, I'm not gonna buy a $5,000 hammer. I'm more concerned about, I prefer not to, if I go over, I'll go over. That's the issue. But I think, increasing that, I was told that line item would be $12,000.
Yeah, they've been there a long.
Which doesn't account for the cost of increasing goods, among other things. The need to buy new printers, the need to buy. I just upgraded most of my office's printers. So that came out. I upgraded. It's not gonna be long that some of my desktop units, whoever purchased the last desktop, why they bought refurbished computers, but they're all garbage. They can't handle the upgrades, even worse. So we're gonna need new desktops here soon. For my,
That we can move in cap.
We can put that in capital.
I'm not asking you to put it into the line, I'm just telling you these are things that are coming on the horizon, and these purchases often end up in my supplies, even though they shouldn't.
It's all money. It's all saving money. Just.
All right,
All right.
I understand that, but some of these other line items, like travel expense, I moved that up because that's too low. There are significant amount of travel expenses that aren't even being sent over. I don't even know why. Because I had several different assistants this year go to conferences. And I'm gonna be pushing for them to do more because they trained on different things. Robert Bates, who goes to sex cases, he's going to a sex offender conference next weekend. It's incredibly important for not just the CLE credit, but that they actually go and learn, changing. If you stop learning in this profession, you'll be out soon. We're gonna have, Manny Combs went up to trial attorney training school, which is in Chicago this year. Great school, I gotta say, more than it's there. I anticipate that I'm gonna send them to as many things as I can, as much training, so I increased for that reason. The witness fee and travel, that is the category I presume is for the cost of my witnesses. We've just got done with one trial where we had to house somebody, we went to a hotel That's probably $1,000, one trial. And it was originally 3,000. You're out of your mind. We had a case earlier this year, and I dismissed. I didn't have a choice, because I thought the fence would be fit. Long story short is, had I gone to trial in that case, Barry knows this case, I would have had 6 to 7 witnesses from the West Coast, for which we'd be paying for airfare, room, or they're bringing in the testifier. We'd had to feed them too. That alone would have easily been over $3,000. So I have no idea why that number's so low. Unless you anticipate that you're not going to do any trials with any witnesses and any services, which just isn't true.
I think that's carrying use administration.
And of course, the next line item should be self-explanatory. And you can manipulate this item based upon what you want to do. But now that I'm actually doing grand juries every 2 weeks, means we have to pay them leave $50 every time they come, less the traffic. There's currently 16 of them. There typically should be 18 to 20. So you can do the math on that in your head, and it's probably going to exceed 30.
You think it will go higher than 35?
Well, if let's say you have a grand jury of 20 people, you have to pay them $50 a day, they count 2 days a month, so that's what is it? $2,000 plus travel.
31,000.
I didn't be traveling.
Is that in relative with the witness fee and the travel expenses you're starting?
No, they're different.
They're different, because it looks, okay, I'll let you finish that. I do have a question.
No, go ahead.
Right. Okay, going back to the witness fee and travel, it looks like we still have a balance of 2473. Okay,
Well, you haven't received the bill for this last trial. What I'm telling you is, I mean, you can reduce that number if you so choose, but I'm not going to be reluctant anymore to house witnesses. For example, we had a gentleman who testified in this last trial, and he was a very critical witness in the trial for us. And he looked, we couldn't find him. Day of trial, we had to send out the sheriff and 9 deputies to find him, to get him to bring him to trial. I would think it's a better idea to simply house him. We're gonna put you up a jury in for the trial, so we know what you are.
Yeah.
Because we spend all that time and effort preparing for trial, the expense, the cost. When you get to the day of trial and key witnesses nowhere to be found,
Yeah.
that's a huge problem. So it's not just housing people from the West Coast, it's also housing local people, so we know where they are. A lot of times we used to do that in private practice, like for an important deposition. House someone in the hotel, make sure you get sleep, make sure you get breakfast, cleaned up. But you know where they are, it's really where you're doing it, because you can't afford for them to show up. You lose the trial for sure. So whether or not that number has been used in the last calendar year, I don't know. I anticipate in this next calendar year, a hell of a lot more jury trials than the last calendar year. Because the Safety Act requires these trials before 90 days. I think defendants are going to demand their trials more because of the rights that's conferred upon the defendants as a result of the Safety Act. A lot of them don't have to take the present consequence of pretrial detention. A lot more are going to want trials because they think that all of a sudden everything's more favorable to them than they may have thought in the past. So it's going to be a tough road for Terry and her public defenders, in my opinion, to talk people into pleading. So if you start having all these trials, then you're going to have expenses relief. If we end up at the end of this time next year, and I can only use $2,000 out of that line item,
So yeah,
so be it. And you all can say, we told you so.
you did a good job. You stayed under budget. That's a good job.
You know,
I see where you could absolutely use that. Grand jury expense, I just want to make sure that you've got enough.
the only thing I'll tell you about that, make sure that make sure that the judiciary doesn't think they're paying that, or the circuit clerk doesn't think they're paying that, because only one of us is
Has to
paying that.
pay it.
The judiciary right now thinks they're paying it, but he also told me he didn't have line item for that in his budget. So I go, well, how the hell are you paying for it? The circuit clerk is the one who's actually submitting the claims for the mileage, but I think they're just submitting them for either my office or for the judiciary. I don't think he's trying to submit them as his claim and pay out of his budget. So I don't think there's any money in their budget. The grand jury belongs to me. The judge likes to think that it's his, but it's mine. I think the judge provides me his disbursement. The four-person, they provide me the future. Beyond that, it's my responsibility. All the secrecy and all the things, it's my obligation.
The defined line is in your budget.
Right.
I would think that would be where you would want it. That's up to you. If it goes to some other office holder, I mean, you want to give it to Terry, I'm fine.
And nobody's claimed it yet, so it's all yours.
Terry's gonna say something.
I can't, continue to spy. I am already late for, some appointments. Did you include enough for reporter and transcripts?
Yes.
Okay,
So I've
I
got,
heard you talk about that.
It was
and
the
I'm
next
like,
line
without
on the next
transcripts,
line.
we're gonna be throwing.
Yeah.
that might not be enough. I got 10,000 on that line. What do you believe it's
I
not?
have no idea. It depends on how much you want to do, but
Well, we have
if
to.
we don't get transcripts, then.
We have to give you transcript. We have to give her a transcript of every single prelim. So I did 15 prelims last Thursday.
For-
It's 15 transcripts. I don't know what the charge is.
Hmm.
You'll have
Who
to
you
ask.
using?
Well, it's up, right now it's Starla.
I know what that's-
They, so what I
Yeah,
understand is that
transcripts
they
are
do,
coming through there.
the transcripts that they do for me are different than the transcripts that they would give to a private attorney. Like for us, it's cheap. They do it while they're at work. They don't get paid the rate. Like, I know that if I order a transcript as a private attorney from a prelim, it's like $400. That's not the rate the county pays that I believe. I'd have to ask Judge. Goodman.
Do you anticipate more next year than we've seen this year?
Transcripts? Absolutely.
If we can take the number we've got this year.
Because again, you're gonna go every 2 weeks.
Like,
You're gonna be forward, it's gonna be grand jury. This week, I did 50, next week, 30 prelims. So that means 30 transcripts have to be, not, could be, have to be turned over to them. Or else my case gets dismissed.
Yeah, you're already budget on that line.
So Ted, should we take you up? You got 10, should we take you up?
Oh, no.
I mean, we're not handing out candy,
No, I understand, but you,
But
for the
we want
sake
you
of
to
it,
cover.
the problem is I don't know the number, because I don't know what she charged, what they charge you. I bet that number ends up somewhere around 25, maybe more, I don't know. You'd be surprised how much money they make transcribing stuff.
We can look at the average.
Yeah.
Calculate that.
You're gonna, I suspect that if you haven't been told already about the judiciary, you're gonna have at least 2 of those transcribers retired. Oh. Because they don't make them like that. It's weird. It really goes in transcription school and stuff. Stenographers. They're a dying breed, which is a shame.
So, what, computers and voice recognition?
So they record all these proceedings that you see. But there's still no substitute, at least on the appellate level or the circuit court. They still have to transcribe it, even if it's a digital transcription that gets sent as the record to the court, it still has to be done. Court just has to certify it. That's not big news. I don't know how, until you remove that from statute that says a machine, artificial intelligence can do it. That's the way it's gonna be for the foreseeable future. It's interesting.
Line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah,
Gavel? That has been paid for by Mays for the last 3 years. Shouldn't be, it's not office. That's why it's. Mays.
computer expense.
is the court purposes generated software that does our damage breakdown. And so if I find $500, circuit this, that, general, yada, yada, it has to do all the assessments have to be like two things that started happening 4 or 5 years ago. Where they skew all their money to the totals at the bottom, 2,946. That's the software that does it. And it's provided, or it's a part of the Supreme Court. But that's what it, that's
That's
just,
your portion that you have.
that's just the going rate, that's the exact one. According to the
That line
base.
is just like, get a real number.
New line item.
I increased continuing education just a little bit, because like I said, I was hoping to get more people in my office, getting more education. Reading publications. I don't know why that. That would come from notify people. I'm assuming the appellate prosecutor number is correct. That's what it's always been. It amazes me, so I guess that's not said by me.
I said by Judge Green, isn't it?
Well, it's said by the appellate prosecutors. They send me a letter and go, this year, your share
Is
is
that what it
this.
is? Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, which is, get me started with that. They're currently turning down work from Jackson County. They haven't turned me down from the duties since we paid $28,000 a year. Your public attorney's salary. Apparently, I can't. I was unaware of that. It's fascinating.
When we get a refund,
28 grand doesn't go as far as it used to.
we don't get a refund.
No, they're not refunded anything.
Do we have a copy of your service agreements? We got a policy that we just need copies. It's,
Oh, no, I'm sure.
all we did, all of it, just need copies. You should have.
If I have any other questions,
The only question I have is the office expense going back up there, special prosecutor costs. You have an idea what that
It's a special prosecutors.
Yeah. Ballpark.
I'm guessing, here's the problem, I'm aware of, David Lawler has done some special prosecuting for us, and he's pretty religious about sending his bills shopping. But I know that Brian Drew has been appointed to quite a few cases. He has yet to specify, so I have no idea how that's. Walter Brown is probably gotta be pushing 10 grand. We had probably half a dozen cases that he was appointed on. And the reason he's appointed is because these non-state attorneys are appointed is because the other state attorneys are too busy, they can't do them.
And who does your?
Judge. Sometimes he'll do it on his own, meaning I'll say, Judge, this is a former client, I can't prosecute, let's say, I'm transferring my appointed. David Lawler, doesn't ask for it.
So any of the.
Sometimes I'll file a formal motion requesting a specific prosecutor, because maybe I call Joe Cervantes in Jackson County and say, hey, Joe, will you prosecute this case for me? When he does, we're going to rebuild it. But right now, they're also full up because of safety. No one return my call. They don't want to do it. So you have to get these private attorneys to do it. We do a good job, but it's, when I used to take special prosecuting case, I never charged it, ever. I just thought it's a civic duty to pay back college. Practice of one day the state's attorney.
So any of the judges can appoint.
Typically it's done by Green. Schaefer could. They'd have to be one, it would probably have to be one of the two criminal judges, which is Schaefer and Green. I don't know that I've ever seen Michelle Schaefer do it. I think Green did.
But that money needs to probably be moved out of your budget. Because it.
Whatever you want to do, doesn't
You
matter.
tell us if that. if
I don't think that I should be paying special prosecutor %.
So you.
It doesn't remove the conflict.
We'll move that out.
Theoretically, the special prosecutor would be working for me, which means I can direct it, which puts me right back in the same situation I was before I began.
Would almost have to come under us.
You could go under the board or under the judiciary.
I was gonna say.
It could go.
One or the other.
Under judiciary.
Judge Green,
We'd have to clear it through.
I don't know if they told you. Judge Green was supposed to take on my special prosecutor himself. He said he was gonna pay the first 10 or 15,000. This year, it's on this year's budget. But that never happened.
I have no idea. But either way, move that out of yours, either judiciary or into ours. So if we do that, does your $40,000 office expense need to go down?
Oh, of course. I think if you set it like around 20, people,
20 for office expense?
they would be thrilled because they haven't seen an increase in that money in years.
Everybody's
Just
gonna
off
get
the
it?
top of my head, I was thinking 15, but I mean,
20?
not 15.
50, I'll take it. No.
70, like put it in
It's
the
been wrong.
increase it by 5. You just talk here.
Well, I would say, yeah, at least 5. I'd love to see it get as high as 20, but again, you understand. I hope you know that I'm not.
If you don't use it, you're not gonna, if you don't need it, you're not gonna.
I can't think of anything that I've even thought about doing shopping that would be surplus. Well, we've got money in the account, let's just do that. That's not how I operate. We get what we need. I know Andrea Lee she runs all my purchases. She's very frugal individual herself. her own person. She runs my office that way, which I appreciate quite a bit. She's always looking if she can. She was the one who came up with everybody's gonna have the same printer in the office, so cartridge. Now that's easier on her, but it also makes sense because okay, now if I buy 10 printer cartridges, I get that bulk rate. So she's actually saving money. It's pretty smart. So she made sure everyone got the same printers so that she didn't have multiple different. This printer needs this one you're buying. It's more expensive than anything to buy one at each different type of printer. They're all the same. She can buy 10 at once, like going to Sam's and save money with the account. She's pretty smart about this stuff. She keeps it up. That's why, by the way, I want to keep started all my complaining about their state.
So the special prosecutor aren't taking that away from the form. We look at 20.
I think you probably put 20 in there and expect it to go down every year, right? The number of cases that I'm directly should go significant, it goes down over time.
So you're saying 20?
20 is what
No,
I
it's-
guess.
Okay.
2 to 3 years in most representations, unless it's particularly lengthy representation.
So that leaves 40 or 20 on the office expense.
15 is still a substantial increase. I still think we need to work better, and that hardware needs to come out of capital, not out of your own expense. That'll reduce that line as well.
Well,
Ultimately, 70.
what's that?
Is that ultimately 70?
I have no immediate plans to buy new. I probably would tell you.
17.
Before I do it.
Maybe it's up to 6.
Yeah.
So,
I just want to make a note that we come back to it. Make sure we do it. I'm here at 15, here, I'm here at 17 for you. Is there middle ground? we agree on?
20? Oh.
Come back to it.
Any other one? Need answers.
I just see the computer maintenance line doesn't have a number.
Oh, yeah, I don't, probably because we didn't know what it was.
We have that just floating around right now.
Yeah, there may not be any difference.
If there's not. I'm sure there is. Yeah, it's got a number. 5063.
5063-001.
Yeah.
Okay, what was that? What was that last year, Jimmy? You got that?
Yeah, last year it was 88. Yeah, 8814.
Okay, so that, yeah, there's no increase there.
You might have to show that number came from.
Who knows? That's
That's been used up.
kind of unknown.
Just make it money.
You just have you. That being paid in here.
Probably part of it was, part of it probably was CDS.
You could pay it to the others.
I have a written agreement to pay. So I'm. Maybe.
734.50 a month. So. That's why I'm wondering if it's one of the,
I have a direct contract from that side of the board. I have that contract.
I do not.
Hope you check on that.
Yeah, I know. Someone else.
Make sure.
You can run a report on.
And do we have a final number on the transcripts? 10 grades, what is on
I should.
it?
Until I find out.
Scripts.
Right,
Until I find out
Or 10.
10,
what it's gonna cost me for transfer.
And I have a local check over it right now.
We're at-
Extrapolate that out, I'll look at that, go.
We're at 2,500 and balance on it's 2254 as of October 4th.
the transcripts?
2254, so you're still under.
I think the transcripts, they haven't been signed,
Yeah,
overages on
I
transcripts.
swear to sign one,
Is that coming from the judiciary though?
maybe.
Yeah, this is the report right here.
There's been a lot of transcripts lately, not necessarily by my office. You know what those are from? That's from Danny Kaye, special prosecutor. Or he was appointed in murder trial, and he ordered transcripts of everything he could. So that's why it should be out of Judge Green's.
And maybe more than coming.
Transcripts have to be paper.
No, a lot of times we digital. The cost is the transcription. I listen to the tape and you can do the thing. The medium that it's delivered is.
So there could be transcripts being paid for by the judiciary and others being paid for by your office.
Yes.
Okay.
Depends on who works. If Danny Kaye, who's been appointed to represent somebody, depends on the borders. Why would my office judiciary? If I were, because I've got a post-conviction hearing, I need transcript. Then my office.
So we have a $12,000 limit for transcripts in judiciary.
Somebody's gonna have to pay for the cost of the transcripts. It's gonna be.
Also, is it related to the green use of?
Because he owns a grand jury.
Well, the transcript line is not contemplated in the grand jury. The grand jury line that you have on here contemplates where I have to pay them, literally, just $50 a day plus travel for 18 to 20 people every 2 weeks during the course of the year. Transcript only contemplates just that. Grand jury transcripts, plus any other transcripts we have to have during the course of the regular year. The only problem with transcript lines, we do not know specifically what each individual transcript is going to cost.
Judicial's got court-appointed attorneys, prosecutors.
I know, it should be. However, if you ask Judge Greene, you could say that those are court defense attorneys, not include the because you would always contemplate it as a judiciary. At some point, you're gonna have to appoint an attorney because you only have 4 PDs and they can all be conflicted. So you always have to contemplate that would be the case. Don't necessarily have to contemplate the state's attorney.
Maybe you live in the state.
2 years, assuming I'm still state's attorney, I shouldn't have any conflicts. Because they should have all gone away. Other than somebody harmed my family, very personal conflict, other than that. For example, if somebody does something in jail as a county employee, or someone defending the county, I should say, for their actions, but I gotta defend the county from civil litigation. I'll go in there and file charges against that guy, actually, in a civil case against your liability carrier. That's why you can't do
Can't
that.
do that.
You wouldn't authorize me to do that, would you? Because that's me, that's authorized me to do that.
He's no citizen.
There's a lot of mental gymnastics you have to do, trying to figure out conflicts.
You try to figure out the budget.
No, I don't envy your task.
Anybody have anything else for Ted? Ted, thank you for your time. Appreciate you coming in.
Roll on down. This is the window I went through, Gracie.
I think, anybody else, anybody have anything that you want to talk about? All right, I think we're finished.
Do we want to set a next meeting?
Not sure if we didn't have something set. We've got a budget meeting set up for one PM on Monday.
Yeah. I'll be able to-
And on 1 PM on Tuesday.
Yep.
And once again, 1 PM on Wednesday, I think the thought that we can finish,
Nothing more.
nothing tomorrow, nothing on Friday.
I got that contract for you to sign.
Okay,
Recycling, then sign that, we get it off, we'll go ahead and start putting that out. So,
absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So you guys asked me about my elections maintenance.
Yeah.
So it was good for the first year. That's, it's gonna still fall in next year's the way that works. So I think I still need the 70. And then the postage was the other question. Sorry. I think I'm right on because I still have like 12 to 15,000 in my account right now. So that'll carry over. So I think I'm good on postage. So.
Perfect. So we'll have Stephanie set up for a meeting at 1 o'clock on Monday. And that will reconvene for Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Monday may not be needed, but we can open it and close it, say we reconvene Tuesday, schedules of everybody else's.
Real.
That's when they decide to talk to. Is there anybody else that you want to talk to? I haven't got anything from the sheriff. And I was told that, check. Nothing. So we're still have nothing from the sheriff.
Second.
Roll call.
You make the motion. Tim Magnuson.
Okay.
Jim Harlow.
Good.
Jim Riggin.
Yeah.
Thank you guys, appreciate it.